Yep.
I didn't even know.
Howdy from Texas, this is Heath Hipple with Bugs Fishing, and this is the weekly update. I have updates on all 3 Ned bugs, starting with the first drop. 4 colors of these imitate shrimp and crabs. I've received the first shipment. It's the first out of 3, and they are going live on the website today. So it's first out of 3, so all the inventory won't be posted, but a certain amount will. And so you will be able to purchase those this weekend. We'll ship them next week. And so I'm super excited to get these in your hands. The first drop, this is CA's Fiddler Crab, one of the first 4, like I said, that imitate shrimp and crab. So those are available now. I'd really appreciate if you would buy some and go fish them. I know they're going to help you catch fish. The Ned Minnow bug, that's the second set that we're making. Big step on these this week. These materials got sent to the factory in Nicaragua, and when it's a brand new bug, I send them all the materials, of course, and then I send them written instructions. And so I take a picture. It was 8 pages of an instruction manual with pictures and instructions. That adds to the workload. That's not a complaint, that's just how it is. And so it's a big feeling of accomplishment when those materials get shipped to the factory. It's super exciting for me because I know that that's a huge step. They will have no trouble at all tying these. I just had to get them the materials, the correct amounts, get them the instructions, and they will be good to go. So they'll start working on these soon. On those first 2 Ned bugs, I filmed tying videos for them this week. Those will be posted really soon. And so if you want to tie your own, or if you want to see how I do it, you'll be able to see 2 of those videos. They'll be posted this week. It's a super fun thing to catch fish on something that you tied yourself. There's an extra level of satisfaction. It's like sprinkles on ice cream. And so I hope you'll try. If not, you can see how I do it, and people find that interesting, but those will be posted this week. Lastly, the third drop for Ned bugs is going to be specifically for freshwater, for bass. I'm calling it a DB3, and I tied another color this morning, and I did that for 2 reasons. 1, to see if I liked it, and then 2, to do a takeoff of materials, and you'll see what that's like. I have to, I gotta know how much materials to send, and so I need to know how much goes into each bug. And so this is a rust, like a reddish craw color. I like it, and you'll be able to see some close-ups, and you can tell me if you like it as well. So I'm finishing up a DB3 prototype. This is a rust or reddish craw. And I have all the materials that this would be exactly how I want it, and so I'm tying it up, then I'll take a look at it to see if I'm happy with it. And what I'm doing on the collar, there's going to be two wraps of this final collar piece, and I'm tying it in first. I'm trying a new idea. I'm tying it in first, and then I'm going to get the reed guards in place, and I'm going to wrap that collar before and after the weed guard. It'll kind of, you'll see. And so that collar piece is in place. Now I'm going to kind of move it out of the way, pinch those weed guard pieces together, and push those towards the hook point. Oops, there we go. So now I'm making a bunch of thread wraps so that the weed guard pieces go towards the hook point like they're supposed to. Okay. Once they're in place, then I'm going to wrap that micro collar. The other thing I'm doing is I am getting some measurements on 2 pieces of material, that micro collar being one piece, the crystal flash chenille being another. Okay, so now see that these weed guard pieces are in place. They're just above the hook point. Now, to kind of obscure the base of the weed guard, here's a micro collar. It's a micro rabbit strip. I'm going to wrap it once on this side, of the weed guard and then once over the top. It becomes a little bit more complicated to finish it, but not too bad. So now I've wrapped it twice, separating those hairs right there. And then I'm gonna, okay, just barely any left over right there. And then I'm going to put the final thread wraps, and I need a good enough base that I can put some head cement. Okay, flipping it over just to make sure I'm good. Okay, so this is the final. Nice and tight. So, got to put head cement on there in a second, but you can see this collar. It's kind of in and around that weed guard. And this has, it's kind of hard to tell, this has some barring on the right there, but this would be another color of that, what I want to call a DB3. Freshwater version of a Ned bug. The legs, the collar, and then I definitely would like to know what y'all think about this color. If you think the bass would eat it. I think that, I mean, they already, well, anyway, showing y'all this so y'all can tell me what you think. But anyway, when this sits on the bottom, this tail is going to be up. There's going to be a little flash, a lot of movement with all this rabbit. The legs are going to float up, and then they're going to be this collar, and yeah, should look pretty good. So I started that bug with 7.5 inches of Crystal Flash chenille. That's this material that I wind on the body, and so now I have 3.5 inches, and so that means it's approximately 4 inches per DB3. Okay, and then I started out with a 3-inch micro rabbit strip, 3 inches long, and I used that one for, I used that micro rabbit strip 2 turns right here and then 2 turns at the collar. And you saw what I had left, so basically nothing left. And so 3 inches of micro per bug is a good number. So this will help me order materials and ship the correct amount to the factory. So 3 inches of micro for the collar here and the collar there, and then 4 inches of this chenille. The rest is pretty simple. There's 1 inch each of the tail pieces. The legs are pretty simple. There's 4 legs, and then yeah, so the rest is pretty simple, but I needed to get the measurements on these, and so now I know what to order. That will be the final Ned bug drop. That will come a little bit later, but getting closer, and part of that, like I said, is tying these different colors that I think will work, that I think you'll like, making sure that I like them, and then knowing what the materials that I need to send to the factory. Super excited that we're moving this Ned project forward. The other thing, a couple people have asked if I will be at the Houston Fishing Show. Yes, there will be a bugs booth at the Houston Fishing Show at the George R. Brown in late March. We'll put the exact dates in the description below, but I'll have Ned bugs there and some new hats and other bugs, some good deals on shirts, lots of stuff. And so I hope you will come out to the Houston Fishing Show towards the end of March and you can see the Ned bugs in person. So I appreciate your support very much. As always, be free, be wise, be blessed. Catch you later.
I didn't even know.
Easy.